I was cruising down the causeway in my Camry, heading for the golf course, when a black Mercedes shot out from the right lane and tried to cut me off. Crunch. The sound of metal on plastic as it sideswiped my passenger side mirror, knocking it askew. The Mercedes's window rolled down. A kid with bleach blonde hair leaned out, his face a mask of rage. "What the fuck is your problem? Learn how to drive." I frowned. "Pull over. We can sort this out." Instead, the idiot cranked his wheel, fishtailing the Mercedes until it was blocking both lanes of traffic. The door flew open, and he jumped out, storming toward my car. He started hammering his fist on my window. "Get out. I'm going to teach you a lesson today, old man." My first instinct was to handle this calmly, but then my eyes caught his license plate. "JM love you." Oh, hell no. That was the 5th anniversary present my wife, Chloe, had been begging for last week. "So this is it, Chloe? You're using my money to bankroll your boy toy. Fine. Don't blame me for what happens next." I slammed my foot on the accelerator. The day had started perfectly. I was meeting Mark for a round of golf. The Miami sun was bright, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect weather for hitting the links. I just got onto the elevated freeway when the black Mercedes aggressively squeezed into my lane. Shit. I stomped on the brake, the Camry's tires screaming in protest. It wasn't enough. The rear of his car clipped my mirror with a sickening crack. The Benz's window came down, and the bleach blonde kid stuck his head out. "Asshole, get that piece of shit Toyota out of the fast lane." He couldn't have been more than 25, a gaudy gold chain hanging around his neck, the very picture of new money trash. "Pull over to the shoulder," I yelled, pointing ahead. "Fuck you," he screamed back, then wrenched the steering wheel, positioning the Mercedes sideways, completely blocking the road. Before I could even process what he was doing, he was out of his car and pounding on my door. "Get the hell out of the car. Now." He yanked furiously at the handle. "This son of a bitch cuts me off, and he's the one with the attitude?" I unbuckled my seatbelt, ready to get out, and set him straight, when my gaze fell on the vanity plate again. Florida plate. "JM love you." I knew that plate. Last Friday night, my wife, Chloe, showed it to me on her phone. "Honey, for our 5th anniversary, I want this Mercedes." I even picked out the perfect plate. "JM love you. For Jake Miller loves you." Isn't it sweet? I didn't hesitate. I wired the money straight away. And now, here was that very car, parked sideways in front of me, driven by some punk with cheap highlights. Chloe had been lying to me. All those late nights she claimed were for work. Was she with this kid? The blonde was still screaming outside. "What, you scared now? Too chicken shit to get out? Driving that busted Toyota like you own the road." My foot found the accelerator, seemingly of its own accord. "Holy shit!" the kid shrieked, jumping back just in time. The front of my Camry slammed squarely into the side of the Mercedes. The airbag exploded from the steering wheel, smacking me in the face. I didn't feel any pain, just a twisted, exhilarating rush. The blonde kid stared, stunned, for 2 seconds before he completely lost it. "Are you fucking insane? Do you have any idea how much this car costs?" I unbuckled my belt and calmly stepped out of the car. Traffic was already backing up. A few people were pulling out their phones, starting to record. "You're at fault," I said, my voice cold. "Illegal lane change, and you obstructed traffic." "Bullshit. You ran me on purpose." He jabbed a finger in my face. "This is a brand new car. Over $250,000. You think you can afford that?" I stared him dead in the eye. "This car is yours." "Duh. Whose else would it be?" he shouted. "Actually, no. My girlfriend bought it for me." "What, you jealous?" My fist clenched so tight my knuckles cracked. "Girlfriend? When did Chloe become his girlfriend?" We weren't divorced yet. A crowd was forming. A middle-aged woman chimed in, driving a Japanese car, and "You hit a Mercedes? Son, you're picking a fight you can't win." A young woman with bright red nails, phone held high, added her 2 cents. "Damn, dude, you really floored it. Guess you got a little insecure seeing a car like that, huh?" She winked at the blonde. "Hey, handsome, wanted to put this on TikTok. I can make him famous." That just gassed him up more. "You hear that? Pay up. You're not leaving here today without giving me 150 grand. "I want to see the vehicle registration," I said. The kid's expression flickered. "Why should I show you? Who the hell are you?" "If you won't show me, you've got something to hide," I pressed. "Either show me, or we call the cops and let them sort it out." "Fine by me. Call him. I'm not scared." He talked tough, but his eyes darted around nervously. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911 right in front of him. After I hung up, I took a slow walk around the Mercedes. A pink pillow sat on the passenger seat, Chloe's favorite color. In the back, there was a jacket that looked hauntingly familiar. My stomach dropped. "The hell are you looking at? Don't touch my car." The kid shoved me. I spun around and grabbed his wrist in a vice grip. "Whose car is this, really?" None of your damn business. He struggled, but I didn't let go. Your name's Dylan Ryder, isn't it? I'd spotted the campus parking permit on the windshield with his name on it. Do you know Chloe Vance? His face froze, then panic flooded his eyes. How? How do you know? It all clicked. Chloe's constant overtime. The new password on her phone. The way she'd grown so cold. Hey, you two. Two highway patrol officers pulled up on motorcycles. What's going on here? Who called it in? The older one asked. He ran my car on purpose. Dylan immediately started playing the victim. Officer, look at this. My car is brand new. The officer surveyed the damage, then noted the position of my dash cam. You both have dash cams, right? Let's see the footage. Dylan's tone changed instantly. Officer, we can probably just handle this ourselves. No need to trouble you. Getting nervous now? I sneered. What happened to that 150 grand? The officer sensed something was off. License, registration, and proof of insurance. Both of you. I handed over my documents. Dylan fumbled. I forgot my license. Registration. It's at home. The officer's brow furrowed. This isn't your car? It's my girlfriend's. Girlfriend? I couldn't help but interject. You married? Dylan's face went pale. He didn't answer. Officer, forget all that. This bastard tried to assault me. The kid's ability to flip the script was truly impressive. If the cops weren't here, I would have introduced his face to the pavement. That's bullshit. My voice cracked with anger. You were the one who cut me off and started banging on my window. The older officer held up a hand. Both of you quiet. Just give me the memory card from your dash cams. Now, right here, I said, turning back to my car, cursing Dylan under my breath. The officer plugged my SD card into his tablet. The footage was crystal clear. Dylan's Mercedes swerving in from the right, clipping my mirror, then him blocking the road and storming my car. The whole thing. According to the state vehicle code, an unsafe lane change that impedes the flow of traffic puts you at 100% fault, the officer said, closing the tablet and turning to Dylan. You're at fault. Dylan's face turned the color of a plum. No, officer, let me explain. Explain my ass. The rage I've been bottling up finally erupted. Scared now, are you? Where's that big talk about 150 grand? Fine, you win. Dylan suddenly yelled. He spun around and stalked to the trunk of the Mercedes. I thought he was grabbing his wallet. Instead, he pulled out a fire extinguisher, swung it over his head, and brought it crashing down on the hood of my Camry. Wham! I watched in disbelief as a massive dent appeared in the carbon fiber. You son of a bitch. I lunged at him, but the two officers grabbed me, holding me back. Is that enough to cover your piece of shit car? Dylan sneered, pulling a thick wad of cash from his wallet and throwing it on my windshield. The $100 bills scattered across the hood and onto the ground. 10 grand. Keep the change. I looked down at the money, and a slow, cold smile spread across my face. 10 grand? Do you have any idea what this car is worth? It's a damn Toyota. Dylan scoffed. I walked slowly to my driver's side door, opened the glove box, and pulled out the vehicle registration. I slapped it into the officer's hand. Officer, would you mind reading this out loud for our big spender here? The officer glanced at it, and his eyebrows shot up. Toyota Camry. TRD Special Commission. Custom import. He squinted at the price. $1.2 million, I said, locking eyes with Dylan, whose face was rapidly losing all color. One of only 500 in the world. Full carbon fiber body. 5-liter V6 supercharged engine. Dylan's jaw dropped. You're full of shit. No Toyota costs that much. I laughed, pulling out my phone and scrolling to the photos from when I bought the car, along with the itemized list of modifications. See for yourself. The mods alone were over $350,000. And that little dent you just made. I pointed at the hood. That's a single piece of carbon fiber. The whole thing has to be replaced, with paint and labor. Let's call it an even $300,000, shall we? The crowd gasped. The man who'd been heckling me earlier now sidled up, peering at my car. I knew this Toyota looked different, so it's a custom job. Dylan's knees buckled. He had to grab the door of the Mercedes to keep from collapsing. $300,000? That's robbery. You don't have to pay, I said, phone in hand. I could just call my lawyer, and we can settle this in court. Felony destruction of property. I believe that carries a sentence of 3 to 7 years. I added, oh, and you did it right in front of 2 officers. That's what they call an aggravating circumstance. Dylan scrambled for his phone. I'm calling my girlfriend. She's got money. She can fix this. He put the call on speaker, shooting me a triumphant smirk. Babe, you won't believe this idiot. He's trying to say his clunker Toyota is some limited edition, trying to shake me down for 300 grand. A woman's voice, Chloe's voice, came through the speaker, sharp and dismissive. Don't worry about it, Dylan. He's just trying to scare you. The car's not worth that much. A muscle in my jaw twitched. You're quick to take his side, aren't you, Chloe? The crowd started murmuring again. So he was trying to scam him. Figures. These guys get jealous when they see someone in a nice car. I crossed my arms, content to watch the show. Dylan, thinking he had the upper hand, waved his phone smugly. My girlfriend said she's already called a professional vehicle appraiser. They'll be here any minute. Let's see you keep up this act when they get here. I shrugged. Fine by me. Let's wait for the professionals. We'll see who's putting on an act. 10 minutes later, a van with Prestige Auto Appraisals on the side pulled up. Dylan rushed over to greet the man who got out. Sir, thank God you're here. Check out this piece of junk. This guy is claiming it's a limited edition worth millions. Set him straight. The appraiser nodded and walked over to my Camry, beginning his inspection. He looked at the bodywork, then his brow furrowed. He reached out and touched the emblem on the grille, then snapped his head up, his eyes wide with shock as he looked at me. Sir, this vehicle... Dylan grew impatient. What about it? It's worthless, right? The appraiser took a deep breath, his voice trembling slightly. This car, it's a full carbon fiber custom build. The wheels are diamond dusted. The interior is handcrafted, and the diamonds in the emblem alone are worth over $1 million. What? Dylan looked like his eyes were about to pop out of his head. Diamonds? The appraiser nodded grimly. This is one of only 5 TRD Diamond Reserve editions ever made. At current market value, it's worth at least $12 million. Boom. The crowd erupted. Holy shit, a $12 million Toyota. I knew there was something weird about those wheels. They were sparkling. This guy lowballed his own car. Talk about humble. Dylan's face was a ghostly white. His lips trembled. No. No way. This piece of junk can't be. I smirked, slowly pulling my keys from my pocket and pressing the unlock button. Beep beep. The headlights flashed on, catching the emblem. The diamonds scattered the sunlight in a blinding, dazzling display. The crowd let out a collective gasp. They're real. Sweat beaded on Dylan's forehead. He fumbled for his wallet, pulled out a black credit card, and tried to look composed as he waved it around. Fine. My bad luck. It's just money, right? I'll put on my card. Another wave of murmurs. A black card. I've only seen those in movies. Figures a guy in a Benz would have one. Baller. I knew that card. It was the supplementary card I'd given Chloe, the one with a $500,000 limit for her shopping sprees. And now it was in Dylan's hands. He was still posturing, tapping the card on the portable terminal the officer had. He typed in the amount, 300,000. Beep. Transaction failed. He froze, then tried again. Beep. This card has been deactivated. Dylan's face contorted. What the hell? I casually pulled out my own phone and called the bank's customer service line in front of him. Hi, my name is Jacob Miller. I'm the primary cardholder on my account, and I've just noticed some fraudulent activity on my supplementary card. I need you to freeze it immediately. The polite voice on the other end replied, Of course, Mr. Miller. The supplementary card has been frozen. I hung up and gave Dylan a wide, predatory grin. Sorry about that. This card, it's mine. Dylan's face cycled through shades of green and white. No way. This is my girlfriend's card. It has nothing to do with you. He pulled 3 more cards from his wallet, swiping them one after another. Beep. Transaction failed. Beep. This card has been frozen. Beep. Insufficient funds. Each beep was like a slap across his face. The crowd erupted in laughter. A guy in a food delivery uniform was practically howling. Dude, did you buy those cards on Wish? Dylan frantically redialed Chloe's number. Chloe, none of the cards you gave me are working. This son of a bitch. I took a step closer and spoke calmly into the phone. Florida, plate, JM love you. A very meaningful gift for your boy toy Ms. Vance. Jake Miller loves you. How romantic. There was a 10-second silence on the other end before Chloe's voice shot back, an octave higher. Who is this? I smiled. Just a concerned citizen. Witnessing an injustice. I don't care who you are. Chloe's voice turned shrill and vicious. You touch my man, and I will make sure you can never work in Miami again. You think I can't have you and your entire family run out of this city by tomorrow? My eyes narrowed, my knuckles cracking. My own wife, threatening to destroy my family in public. Quite the power trip, Ms. Vance, why don't we make a little bet? I wager that in 1 hour, you'll be on your knees, begging me for forgiveness. A hysterical laugh echoed from the phone. Who the hell do you think you are? Just you wait. After the call ended, Dylan puffed out his chest as if he'd been re-injected with courage, his gold chain glinting in the sun. You hear that? Chloe Vance is the vice president of Apex Holdings. Her father is on the city commission. Shut up, I said, pulling out a cigarette. When your sugar mama gets here, remind her to bring cash. I don't take plastic. 10 minutes later, a black Maybach screeched to a halt beside us. The door opened, and a pair of long, slender legs and high heels emerged. Chloe, dressed in a sharp power suit, her hair perfect, her makeup flawless, strode toward us with an air of absolute authority. Dylan ran to her like a lost puppy. "Babe, you're finally here. This bastard is trying to blackmail me, and he insulted me." Who? Who would dare? Her angry words died in her throat. The moment her eyes landed on my face, every trace of color drained from her cheeks. Jake? She stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I let out a cold laugh. Well, if it isn't the great Ms. Vance. Fancy seeing you here. Chloe's face went chalk white. She rushed toward me, hissing under her breath. You listen to me. Dylan is my best friend's boyfriend. This is all a huge misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? I cut her off, raising my voice for the crowd to hear. Wasn't it just someone on the phone who was threatening to run my entire family out of Miami? Chloe's face flushed red, then pale again. She leaned in closer, her voice a venomous whisper. Jacob Miller, don't push your luck. Apologize now, and we can forget this ever happened. Otherwise what? I shove her back. Otherwise you'll have your best friend's boyfriend here take care of me? The crowd was buzzing. People were recording, whispering. What's going on? Is that her husband? Holy shit, this is huge. Chloe Vance is cheating on her husband. Hearing the whispers, Chloe's expression turned even uglier. She suddenly raised her voice, pointing a trembling finger at me. Everyone, don't listen to him. This man is a con artist. I don't even know him. I almost laughed out loud. You don't know me? Then who's that guy in our wedding photos? My clone. You're lying. Chloe was panicking now, turning to the crowd. Don't believe him. He's insane. Just then, a young guy holding a selfie stick shouted, You guys seeing this? Chloe Vance from Apex Holdings caught cheating on her husband. Live on stream. We just hit 100,000 viewers. The word live stream made Chloe flinch as if she'd been electrocuted. She whipped her head toward the streamer and shrieked, Turn it off. Turn that off right now. But it was too late. The comments were flying. Whoa, scandal of the year. Chloe Vance's perfect image is toast. So the gold chain guy is her sugar baby? Chloe completely lost her composure. She pointed at me, her voice a hysterical roar. Jacob Miller, you will apologize to me and Dylan right now. If you don't, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Looking at her twisted, arrogant face, I finally snapped. Smack! The sharp sound of my hand connecting with her cheek echoed in the sudden silence. The force of the blow sent her stumbling back. That was for betraying our marriage. Smack! A second slap, harder than the first. A trickle of blood appeared at the corner of her mouth. And that was for being a shameless liar. The entire scene fell silent. Everyone stared, stunned by the sudden violence. The streamer's hand was shaking, but he kept the camera pointed directly at us. Chloe held her stinging cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief. You hit me. What if I did? I said coldly. If it weren't for the 5 years we were married, I'd do a lot more than that. Dylan finally snapped out of his stupor. His eyes were red with fury as he charged at me. You bastard. You hit Chloe. I sidestepped his clumsy attack and drove my foot into his stomach. He doubled over, gasping for air and dropping to his knees. You think a weakling like you can take my woman? I looked down on him with contempt. You want to know why your cards don't work? Because it's all my money. Chloe suddenly launched herself at me, a wild animal. Jacob Miller, I'm divorcing you. You won't get a single penny. I grabbed her by the wrist, my voice a low snarl. A divorce? Great idea. We can let the whole world see how the prestigious Chloe Vance of Apex Holdings commits adultery and uses company assets to keep a boy toy. The streamer's voice was giddy with excitement. You heard it here first, folks. It's confirmed. Chloe Vance cheated on her husband. Keep those gifts coming. Chloe's face was ashen. Her legs gave out, and she sank to the pavement. Seeing his protector fall, Dylan started to back away, trying to slip out of the chaos. I grabbed him by the collar. Where do you think you're going? You still owe me $300,000. Just then, sirens wailed in the distance. Someone in the crowd must have called the police again. As the squad car approached, Chloe scrambled over and grabbed my pant leg, her makeup streaked with tears. Jake, I was wrong. Please, forgive me just this one time. I crouched down, gripping her chin and forcing her to look at me. You're sorry now? It's too late. The car pulled up, and 2 more officers stepped out. What's going on here? Who made the call? I straightened my shirt and calmly approached them. Officer, I'd like to report a case of fraud, felony destruction of property, and I glanced at Chloe, who was now a sobbing mess on the ground. Embezzlement. The officers approached. Who called this in? What's the situation? Before I could answer, Chloe scrambled to her feet and rushed toward one of the cops. Officer, he assaulted me. I want to press charges. She pointed to her swollen cheek, tears streaming on command. Look, this is the proof. I let out a cold, humorless laugh and pulled out my phone. Officer, I have a complete audio recording right here. It will prove that Ms. Vance is involved in fraud, embezzlement, and I flicked my eyes toward Dylan, who was hiding behind an officer. The solicitation of a prostitute. You're lying, Chloe shrieked, lunging for my phone. An officer quickly intercepted her. The lead officer took my phone. As he listened to the recording, his expression grew increasingly grim. He turned to Chloe. Ms. Vance, I'm going to need you to come with us to answer some questions. Answer questions? Do you have any idea who I am? Chloe drew herself up, her voice sharp with arrogance. I'm the vice president of Apex Holdings. Your own police chief had dinner with me last week. The officer's face hardened. Ma'am, please watch your tone. I need to see your identification. Chloe's confidence wavered. She reluctantly opened her Hermes bag to get her wallet. As she did, a black card slipped out and fell to the ground, the supplementary card I had given her. I bent down, picked it up, and twirled it between my fingers. Interesting. What's my card doing in Ms. Vance's wallet? Ew, that's my card, she snapped, reaching for it. I sidestepped her easily. The primary cardholder's name is Jacob Miller, I told the officer. The main card is right here. I pulled out my own wallet and handed the primary card to him. You can verify it on the spot. The officer took both cards and scanned them with his device. He nodded. They're confirmed. Primary and supplementary cards for the same account. The scene exploded. The streamer's voice cracked with excitement. Did you see that, people? The VP of Apex Holdings is using someone else's credit card. Light up the chat. We just broke 500,000 viewers. Chloe's face was a deathly mask. She pointed a trembling finger at me. Jacob Miller, don't you dare. I worked my ass off to build that company. You're only where you are today because of me. To be blunt, you're nothing but a kept man living off my success. I just smiled and dialed a number on my phone. Evans, I need you to bring the files from the safe in my office to the causeway. Yes, right now. I hung up and looked at Chloe. Since you claim I'm the one living off you, let's settle this once and for all. Let's see who's really been keeping whom. Dylan chose that moment to pipe up. Stop posturing. Chloe is the VP of a publicly traded company. Who the hell are you? I ignored him and addressed the officer. Officer, I suspect these two are involved in a major embezzlement scheme. I request that you pull the shareholder registration information for Apex Holdings. The officer nodded and was about to use his device when Chloe threw herself at the police car. No, you have no right to do that. I want my lawyer. Just then, a Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop next to the patrol car. A middle-aged man in a perfectly tailored suit stepped out, carrying a metal briefcase. Mr. Miller, the documents you requested. The man respectfully handed the case to me. Chloe froze when she saw him. Evans, Mr. Evans, what are you doing here? I ignored her shock, punched in the code, and opened the briefcase. I pulled out a thick file and handed it to the officer. This is the proof of controlling interest in Apex Holdings. Please take a look. The officer began flipping through the pages, then sucked in a sharp breath. The majority shareholder of Apex Holdings is Jacob Miller, with a 67% stake. The statement hit the crowd like a bomb. What? Chloe screamed, lunging toward the documents. Impossible. That's absolutely impossible. I smirked and pulled out another document. This is the investment agreement from 5 years ago. It states in black and white that I provided $50 million to establish Apex Holdings, with you holding the shares in proxy. I produced another file, and this is last year's financial audit. It shows you misappropriated over $10 million in company funds, $5 million of which were transferred directly into the accounts of... I looked at Dylan, whose face was the color of ash. This punk right here. Dylan's legs gave out, and he collapsed to his knees. It wasn't me. She gave it to me. She wanted to... The crowd was in an uproar. The streamer was shaking. Ladies and gentlemen, the plot twist of the century. The VP was just a figurehead. This man is the real boss. Light it up. The live chat was a blur. Holy shit, a real-life billionaire. 50 million. This guy is the real deal. Chloe Vance is the worst kind of snake. Chloe completely shattered. She crawled on her knees and clutched my leg. Jake, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong now. Please, just forgive me this one time. I kicked her away in disgust. You're calling me your husband now? Weren't you just calling me a freeloader? The officer stepped forward, his face grim. Both of you need to come with us to the station to assist with our investigation. No, I'm not going to jail. Chloe shrieked, grabbing my pants again. Jake, for the sake of our 5 years together. 5 years. I scoffed. The moment you climbed into that punk's bed, our marriage was over. Chloe went limp. A dark stain spread on the asphalt beneath her. She had wet herself. I watched as the pathetic pair were cuffed and led to the police car, then turned and walked back toward my diamond-studded Camry. The streamer ran after me. Sir, can I get an interview? Who are you really? I opened my car door and looked back with a slight smile. Me? I'm just a concerned citizen who hates to see an injustice. As I started the engine, I took one last look at the police car, now swarmed by news reporters who had arrived on the scene. Through the window, Chloe stared at me, her eyes filled with pure venom. I held up my phone. The screen displayed a new text message. Mr. Miller, per your instructions, all of Chloe Vance's accounts have been frozen. The seizure of her properties and vehicles is underway. The game is just getting started, my dear wife, I whispered, then hit the gas and left the chaos behind. I sat in my office on the top floor, the city lights twinkling below. A message from Evans popped up on my phone. Mr. Miller, the media has been briefed. Chloe Vance's scandal will be on every headline tomorrow. A cold smile touched my lips. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with an incoming call. The caller ID read, Father. I took a deep breath and answered, Dad. A deep, commanding voice came through the line. Are you done with your little drama? I gripped the steering wheel of my chair. You heard. The entire city of Miami heard. My father's voice was tight with suppressed fury. Beating your wife on a public highway, making a scene for the news. What does this do for the company's reputation? I laughed humorlessly. So I was supposed to just stand there and watch my wife spend my money on her boy toy? The line was silent for a few seconds. Come home. We'll talk. 3 days later, Miami-Dade pretrial detention center. Chloe, dressed in an orange jumpsuit, looked haggard and frail on the other side of the visitation glass. When she saw me in my tailored suit, a flicker of hope ignited in her eyes. Jake, you're here to bail me out, right? I slowly pulled a stack of papers from my briefcase. Sign these. She snatched them eagerly, but her face fell when she read the title at the top. The divorce agreement. Surprised, I leaned back in my chair. Or did you actually think I would forgive a woman who betrayed me? Chloe suddenly flew into a rage, tearing the papers to shreds. Never. I am Mrs. Miller. I'll die before I sign this. I calmly produced an identical copy. Go ahead and tear them. I brought 20. Jacob Miller. Don't you push me. She slammed her fists against the glass partition. Apex Holdings wouldn't be what it is today without me. How dare you do this to me? I leaned forward, my voice dropping to an icy whisper. I dare because I am the sole heir to Miller Global. I dare because every single penny you have ever spent was mine. Chloe looked as if she'd been struck by lightning. Her eyes were wide and vacant. Miller Global? The international conglomerate. So you're not as stupid as you look? I said, standing up. Sign the papers, and you can walk away with $1 million for a fresh start. Don't sign. I let out a cold smirk. And you can get used to this place. You'll be here a long, long time. Watching her trembling hand sign the document, I turned and walked away. Her heart-wrenching sobs echoed behind me. Jacob Miller, you'll get what you deserve. You'll pay for this. A month later, at the Miami-Dade County Courthouse, the judge's voice was stern. The defendant, Chloe Vance, is found guilty of embezzlement and tax evasion and is hereby sentenced to 7 years in state prison. The defendant, Dylan Ryder, is found guilty of fraud and money laundering and is sentenced to 5 years. Sitting in the gallery, I adjusted the cuff of my suit jacket, stood, and left. The bright sun hit me as I walked out of the courthouse doors. Mr. Miller. Evans hurried to catch up. We just received word. Ryder attempted to escape during transport. He was apprehended by a K-9 unit. An injury was sustained to his groin area. I raised an eyebrow. What a coincidence. Evans simply pushed up his glasses, a knowing smile playing on his lips. My phone vibrated. A text from my father. The game is over. Come back and take your place. I looked up at the clear blue sky and let out a long breath. 5 years of living a lie, 5 years of a sham marriage, were finally over. Let's go, I said, opening the car door. It's time to get back to the real battlefield. 3 months later, at the Miller Global headquarters, I stood before the floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the entire city. Behind me, my new assistant delivered her report. Mr. Chairman, the restructuring of Apex Holdings is complete. Here is this month's financial statement. I took the file from her, asking casually, any news from the prison? Ms. Vance has applied for parole 3 times, all denied. Last week, she requested a meeting with you, claiming she has something important to tell you. Decline it. I cut her off, and I want you to implement this charitable initiative. I handed her another file. Use the $10 million Chloe embezzled to establish a foundation to combat workplace sexual harassment. After she left, I opened a drawer and took out a long-forgotten picture frame. It was a photo from my wedding 5 years ago. Chloe was smiling, her eyes full of what I had once mistaken for love. Who could have guessed what a venomous snake was hiding behind that beautiful facade? My phone pinged with a news alert. Former Apex VP Chloe Vance confesses in prison to 3 abortions. Claims father of children was a local gang member. I let out a short, sharp laugh and tossed the picture frame into the trash can. Outside, the setting sun bathed the city in gold. A new era had begun.